Hello, my beautiful friends. I feel like it's been a long time since I posted a YouTube video, but I'm finally ready to create more videos and be more present with you guys. And today I wanted to share with you all the tattoos I did this past week. I just wanted to show you my process behind how I prepare for my tattoo appointments for my clients. If you're a tattoo artist, apprentice, tattoo collector, let me know in the comments and say hi. I want to get to know you guys better. For my first appointment of the week, I started with Britt, with whom I had started working on a Blue Jay tattoo design. This is the tattoo design I had created for her. She wanted a tattoo of a blue jay with black and gray florals, and it was going to take up her upper arm. And for this week's appointment, we are shading the petals and coloring the blue jay. She did not want the bird to be fully saturated like this reference photo, which is what I used, but she wanted it more brushed in with just hints of color. It was definitely an interesting challenge for me because I'm more used to fully saturating my color tattoos, but this time she didn't want to go as heavy-handed with colors, so I had to resort to something like this with just very light layers of colors. I first met Brittany when I tattooed the names of her children, and during that session, she shared with me that she had lost one of them in unexpected death. It was so tragic, but I feel so grateful and honored that she has chosen me as an artist to help memorialize him as a beautiful tattoo that she can carry with her wherever she goes, that she can look at every day. This is mainly the reason why I chose to become a tattoo artist, so that we can create art together with clients that they can wear and look at every day, instead of being a painter who creates painting that stays in walls. I'm not trying to undercut any painters or fine artists out there. I'm just saying this is why I feel that tattoos are truly magical. It brings people together, it brings memories into a visual art, and something we can look at, share with the world without even uttering a word. And I think this tattoo turned out so beautifully, and I was surprised at how much I like this technique of shading. Next up, I have Hocus Pocus Haunted Mansion tattoo for Christina. This would be her first tattoo on her leg. We're doing it on her thigh. I will post a picture of what I had originally designed for her. I was thinking more focused on the Sanderson sisters when she put the description of the tattoo, but later we found out that she wanted bigger focus on the haunted mansion and the Sanderson sisters be more of a silhouette. This is the original design I had, but it was a little different from what she had in mind. Because Christina and her dad used to work in a small haunted mansion together, and one time her dad accidentally set a can of gunpowder on fire and literally raised the roof. Everyone was okay, but it was a very memorable experience for her that she wanted to incorporate into this tattoo. And let me show you the photo references that we use for this. She wanted autumnal flowers and jack-o'-lantern like this, with darker, more somber and more dead looking leaves like that. This is something that I found online. I love cartoon art. Have you guys heard of Heavy Metal magazine? It's adult comic magazine that is some of the artists at the shop have brought in just for like references. It can be very explicit in content, but I appreciate the art in there. And since looking at those, I've been appreciating more comic book art style. And I just love how there's so much contrast and detail, and it helps me understand how to depict things like smoke, explosion in a more artistic medium, especially when it comes to tattoo. I know there's photorealism available, but I love more neo-traditional look. So this comic book illustration style helped me understand how to demonstrate the explosion effect. And this is something I pulled for color references. I always try to establish big color values or contrast, and this helped me kind of see color theory with the shading. So those are the references that I used. We had only done the outlines for our first appointment in July. Christina likes to sit only 1.5 to 2 hours of tattooing at a time, and that is totally fine. Whatever your pain tolerance or financial tolerance is, I'm flexible to work with you, whether breaking large projects into bigger pieces or doing it in one day. In this case, Christina wanted to separate them, so today we just shaded all the blacks, and next time we'll do colors. Next, I had Anita, whom I have tattooed multiple times in the past. We're currently working on adding the landmarks of places she's visited for vacation. And for this week's appointment, she wanted Bar Island in Bar Harbor, Maine, I believe. I had unfortunately deleted the outlines for this tattoo that I had drawn up for her because I didn't realize that I would be filming the process when I did that. But I'll show you how the tattoo turned out. Here is the Bar Island in a tattoo form that we got to do this week. It took about an hour and a half, and we were able to add letters to the Niagara Falls tattoo that we had done together in the past. I'm looking forward to hearing about her next vacation spot. Anita is one of my really badass clients. She's older than me, goes on solo motorcycle trips. She's a part of female motorcycle group. She goes on vacation whenever she wants to because she is the boss of her business, which is hairdressing, and she gets to make her own schedule. And she's one of the people that I've gotten to know that just pursues her true passion and does what she wants. I am so happy to be a part of her journey and happy to create those memories for her on her skin. Next up, I have Sarah for the week. Sarah got to know me through a coworker who used to work with me when I was a pharmacist. Sarah now works with my brother-in-law, who's also a pharmacist. So pharmacy is such a small world. I'm glad our network has brought our paths together because we got to create this beautiful outer calf piece here. Originally, she had a small octopus tattoo right there that I covered up with my octopus. And then for second session with her, we completed the upper half of the calf with cute dolphin. Her original idea was that she wanted her calf to look like she dipped into shallow ocean water. And she wanted all the cute ocean animals on there. So this is what we have done so far. And for this week's appointment, we're going to fill up the rest of her calf here. So what I had drawn for her is this. Let me show you. So my plan was this jellyfish and turtle design be on the inner side of her calf and the anemone and clownfish be on the back of the calf, like so. So imagine wrapping the calf like that. And I wanted to make sure everything flew well together with her current tattoo. You're gonna see in my next videos, but this was a little bit of an oversight. I totally drew these designs on this rectangular paper, not realizing a calf is not going to be a perfect cylinder. In general, calves are usually wider on the top and narrows down to the ankle. So I should have accounted for some extra space on top, but thankfully my client was so flexible and trusting with the creative process that she allowed me to fill in the gap when I just freehand drew extra creatures. Here's what I mean. When I printed everything out and put the stencil on her, there was so much space between the areas of calf that I had in my mind. So going forward with projects like this, I'll be taking measurements of the circumference or taking some photos of the blank spots when we continue a project. But like I said, Sarah was awesome because she just trusted the process, let me draw extra creatures in, and I was able to seamlessly connect the pieces together. We watched Fast and Furious movies during this tattoo session, which is a first for me because I've never watched one before. I had so much fun creating the outlines for the rest of her lower leg sleeve. Look at the little seahorses in the background. It's going to be so much fun coloring everything in. This is how the inner side of the calf looks like. Sarah said so well, as always. We usually do 3 hours of tattoo session at a time. So this is going to be a process, but patience will always pay off at the end. And look how great the outer calf healed. It looks like a totally fresh tattoo. The colors are so vibrant. I love this illustrative neo-traditional style and can't wait to continue this. Next up, I had Laura, who wanted a hollyhock tattoo to memorialize her late father because he used to have hollyhocks in his garden. And I used the exact photo references that she sent me from her father's garden. Aren't these beautiful? They're kind of similar to Rose of Sharon, which are the national flowers of South Korea. So I felt extra attached to this request. And I suggested that we added some smaller flowers and a butterfly to make the design more dynamic and interesting, which she agreed to. And I have added forget-me-nots as this is a memorial tattoo. And I found a picture of this butterfly from Pinterest that I thought was really interesting and went really well together with the color scheme of the hollyhock she sent me. I know a lot of people love monarch butterflies and they're very common in the Eastern Coast, PA, Maryland, things like that. I always want to try something new, something different. So that's why I brought in this color of butterfly. I don't know the name of it. And Laura liked the idea of this butterfly as well. So we were able to create this beautiful hollyhock tattoo. Laura has told me during the appointment that her mom's not a fan of tattoos in general, but when she told her that it's for her father, her mom had opened up to it more and asked more questions. So now Laura's thinking about which tattoo to get to represent her mother. I wanted to design and place this tattoo in a way that it won't be in the way of future tattoos and will flow together with whatever else she adds to in the future. This is how it looks with all the colors. It took 3 hours to complete. Laura said so well. Even though this is her first big tattoo, we listened to 2 hot takes during the appointment and had so much fun getting to know each other. So thanks, Laura. Next up, I have a thestral tattoo for Jade, who I met at my previous job as a pharmacist. She wanted a thestral tattoo in memory of her late grandmother. And as you know from Harry Potter universe, thestrals are magical creatures that you can only see if you have witnessed death of somebody. So it was kind of dark and somber, but Jade, like her personality was so positive and sweet that we were able to do this tattoo and still have much fun, and it was just so magical. So I wanted to show you that earlier before I started drawing, I got this reference photo using AI. I don't like when people use AI art and call it art, but I do appreciate the ability to create reference photos. I wanted to get, so this is the thestral that we know, and I wanted to get a reference of how a thestral would look like if it's standing up on its back leg. I expected it to look like a horse because thestrals are basically like a horse. But just having this reference gave me a better understanding of the anatomy, and putting those two together, I was able to come up with this drawing right here. Jade wanted some poppies and other plants from Harry Potter. I forgot to ask, but I'm assuming poppies are either her grandmother's birth flower or something that brought them together. And of course, I had to use the mandrake, which is, I think, the most iconic plant from Harry Potter. So that's the design I had in mind. I always like to think of the curves or angles so that the designs can flow well with the body, and I'll show you how it turned out. This design is going on the forearm area, which is one of my favorite spots to tattoo. It's just so visible. You can show it to other people without even trying. I also love how tattoos on the forearm will move with the arm, whether you twist your hands or fold your elbows. So I had that in mind when putting the wings near the elbow area. With this piece, using the fine needles to create the details was so much fun. And we also watched Harry Potter movies. Jay's favorite one was The Goblet of Fire, and we also got to watch The Order of Phoenix. I told her how I read the first 4 or 5 books in Korean since my family and I moved to the States when I was 14, and I had to wait until I learned English to read the subsequent books. Harry Potter brings people together, and I just loved how everything turned out. Next up, I had Amanda. She was also a previous coworker of mine from pharmacy. She wanted a heart spider web on her knee. We've been working on a Tim Burton themed leg sleeve for her. So I'll show you further in my next videos how we got to achieve this look. Knee tattoos are actually super tricky to stencil for. There are just so many curves and roundness everywhere to fit a flat area on top of, but we took a few different takes to be able to find the perfect spot for this design, and here's how it looks after shading it. It was so fun, and I think it brings everything together. Amanda is actually the third person I've ever tattooed other than myself and my husband. She was so brave for volunteering herself for my first apprentice tattoos. As I said before, we met in pharmacy when I was still a pharmacist. She was a pharmacy technician. She's one of those people who genuinely love tattoos, and she connected me with her husband and her husband's best friend, who also received multiple tattoos from me. I am so thankful for all of them. This ghost tattoo here actually kind of blew up when I created multiple batches of them. And I got to tattoo a couple of her other girlfriends and do friendship ghost tattoos for them too. So I'm just so thankful for the network she brought in. Here you are seeing a gap filler tattoo I had done for her in the past, in addition to a portrait tattoo that she had from another artist. I think I met her in 2021 when I started working at my last job. And just over the years, we got to know each other and our families grew. So, needless to say, she is one of my very special clients. Here you are seeing her Tim Burton themed leg sleeve, the Nightmare Before Christmas Jack and Sally tattoo, as well as the Hill tattoo, have been done by a different artist. I had not only helped refreshen some of the spots on there, but also add all of these new characters to her leg. Every single one of them was so fun to tattoo. Not to keep talking about myself, but as I said, I grew up in South Korea where they do not celebrate Halloween, or there's no concept of Halloween there. So that made all of these extra special because I do love Tim Burton movies too. So that was a non-Tim Burton tattoo for her and her husband. But anyways, I can't wait to add more to her leg sleeve. Thank you so much for giving me fun ideas as always and continuing to trust me with your vision. Last but not least, I have Shanna in my chair. She is my husband's cousin's wife, and we have started a floral upper sleeve for her using all the birth flowers that connected her and her grandmother together, all the flowers that her grandmother used to have in the garden. So there were a lot of different elements. We also used a hummingbird and a wren in the design. So I saved those photo references. And this is usually how I lay out my color plan, just to make sure that everything flows together. I also consider what my clients have in mind for different flower colors, because for some people, different colors mean different things. Here are the outlines that we had started in spring. Everything seemed to have healed really well. I actually couldn't believe how much detail we got to add last time because I think we worked on it for about 3 hours. Today, we tried to fit as many colors as possible and try to get done as much as possible because Shanna does drive from out of town and she has different family needs and busy schedule like everyone. I wanted to brush in the colors more like watercolor style instead of filling all the way to the edge. I can't wait to pick up from where we left off. I didn't realize how many pharmacy friends that I got to tattoo this week until I made this video. As much as I like to complain about my pharmacy days during COVID, how hard it was, I am so thankful for everyone that I got to meet during those times. Everything happens for a reason, and I can't deny that working as a pharmacist before tattooing really prepared me to have good bedside manners, professionalism, communication skills, things like that. Of course, there are so many things I have still yet to learn and improve on. But at the end of the day, I am so thankful for every single one of my clients who has given me their trust with not only their skin, but with their vision on how they're going to transform for the remainder of their life. But we're in the business of transforming people into how they truly, authentically feel inside. We're in the business of bringing a piece of eternity onto the skin. So it was another great week. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please comment below what you liked the most. And let me know what other kinds of content you like to see. I think I'm enjoying this type of tattoo diary, if you will, a lot. So I'm going to continue to do that. I know consistency can be a challenge for me, but we're going to do it. So thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.